Hey everybody, welcome to the PIC TV network. I want to say thank you for your time. All of our friends, again, we always acknowledge everybody who comes on our network and those who are watching from Hungary, Brazil, France, Argentina, Nicaragua, United States, Colombia, Mexico, Guatemala, United Kingdom, Germany. What's up, Dennis? Panama, Ireland, Peru, Chile, Canada, and the rest of the United States. We're always happy for people to watch our network from all over. To our social media audience, those who are watching with us, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you're watching today. I have a special presentation today. We're going to talk about some business talk. My man, Big Matt, we met on Clubhouse. Oh man, he's a genius, y'all. He's a genius. Big Matt, how you doing, man?
I'm good, Doc. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate the opportunity. Please excuse the mess behind me.
Why you think I got this up, Matt? Why you think I got this up?
You can't stop greatness. But I'm in the position. I'm actually trying to redo my office because got a lot going on. So I'm trying to recreate myself here in my home office.
Man, what you say is more than what's looking in the background, man. I'm excited. I was just always happy when I hear you in Clubhouse, man, and we begin to talk and Big Sean come in, man, and I've been trying to get you on for a while. I know you've been busy. You had your son's birthday was last week. How did that turn out, man? The birthday?
It was good, actually. So he just turned 13, so now I got another teenager in the house. So whatever hair I have left is it's gonna fall out probably in the next couple of years. But yeah, so we started last Thursday, and his birthday was actually on Sunday. So it was great. We had cousins coming in and out, and Sunday we had his actual birthday party with family, and just trying to go with the protocol for COVID and all that other stuff. So
yeah,
he had a good time.
Yeah, I want to thank you, man, for being on our news segment on the last show, man. We had a lot of people comment, and always your suggestions was great. Let's talk about Matt, family, man. Your parents are your mom and pop still around?
No, so believe it or not, my dad. Not a funny story, but it is a funny story. My father passed away 6 years ago, and my mom's still around, but after 6 years of a lot of laughter, I was very upset in the beginning, but I run a business. Actually, I run two businesses now, so I really couldn't take any time off because people rely on me. But a couple of days, somebody passes away, there's a grief, and my wife had said to me, she put her hand on your shoulder and she's like, hey, this is how life works. He's in a better place now and whatever. And she's talking, and all I'm saying is, like, he's not in a better place. He's not with me. This is ridiculous. I love my dad. But that was my rock. So 5 days later, yeah, it was 5 days later, we actually found out that my father-in-law, my wife's dad, passed away the same day.
Wow.
Same day as my dad. So, it's kind of a little bit of a reverse role at that point. So I was like, hey, babe, he's in a better place. He's in a better place now. So we had a lot of laughter over it. We're not normal in our house. I don't claim to be normal. I've got a very weird sense of humor, so does the rest of my family. So, with a lot of love and laughter, we were able to get through it, but it's sad. So my mom actually lives with us, and I have my mother-in-law that lives with us too. So, I'm either super crazy or I'm just crazy, and I'm hoping that, the Lord has got a seat for me next to him, when I reach the pearly gates, and he's gonna say, you know what, you did your time on earth, which was hell, having your mom and your mother-in-law in the house. I'm only kidding. But also I get to transition on the other side.
Yeah, that's amazing, Big Matt, man. We did a news topic a little while ago, man, called Reconnecting the Generations, and we were talking about how, like, my mother and father are gone, and I miss them every day. I was so close. I'm a baby's boy out of 9 kids, man. I'm always be the baby's boy, the youngest boy. And my mom spoiled me, and my dad, man, I worked with him most of all of his life. And to have you just to say that, man, and thinking about that topic we had on our news, reconnecting the generation, to take in your parents and your loved ones and have them to live with you. My mother-in-law, her birthday is this Thursday. She'll be 87 years old. She's staying with me and my wife this week. She's lived in Charlotte, North Carolina. She was sick about a couple of years ago, and my brother-in-law said, I'm bringing her to North Carolina. Took her down to North Carolina. She aged backwards, and now she's up here staying for a couple of days because we had a funeral last week, which was a double funeral, two family members at the same time in the same funeral. And she came up here and stayed with us, and she's in the other room now. You just feel good, man, when you do things like that, Big Matt.
I spend a lot of time in these walls. I call it my compound. So I'm wondering, like, should I just get, like, one of those refrigerators and put it to the right? Should I strap a hammock on one of the walls? So, I can basically have my little ecosystem in here, and not have to worry about what's going on in the rest of the house. Honestly, I joke around. I like having both of them in the house. At
Wow.
least I know where they are at all times, and I know that if they need anything, obviously they can call on myself, my wife, and the kids, and I will say it's a different experience. This is not what I thought my life was going to be like at this age, but you know what? There's no need for anybody to be left out in the street, have to go into a small cramped apartment. I'm very fortunate, very blessed with my house. We've got more than enough space to house everybody here. My only regret is we got my young son a dog, his own dog, 3 years ago, and the dog just doesn't stop barking. So no, we have 3 dogs in the house, 3 dogs, 2 mother-in-laws, my wife and myself. So it's definitely a full house, different version of the Noah's Ark.
Yeah, Big Man, that's beautiful, man. I love your sense of humor, man.
Appreciate
I
it.
knew once we get together, we're going to be doing some special things on PIC TV Network, the business channel. You'll be on teaching people about finance. Matter of fact, I want to talk about that for a minute, Mac. This Big Matt, about finances. I know we're going through COVID. I know we're going through the crisis, but tell people what you've been doing for the last 10, 12, 13, 14 years, Big Matt.
So it's actually celebrate my 16 years of working with distressed real estate. I run a loss mitigation company, and I help homeowners that are in distress. I feel that people should actually know what their options are prior to going to foreclosure. Foreclosure should never be an option for somebody who's in trouble with their house. And I feel like there's not enough people out there in the world that are actually trying to help people versus hurting them. And what I mean by that is, and it's nothing against the banking industry or the banks, they are there to take the information as an intake in the process to try to evaluate whether somebody or not can actually stay in their house. Here's the problem. If the numbers don't match up in the proper columns, at that point, they're basically going to make it that they're going to have to sell the property, or they're going to have to give the property back to the bank. It should never be a foreclosure. What I don't like is because it's a numbers game, and all they have to do is process the information that comes in. They're not going to say, oh, if you move this line item to another line, or are you sure these numbers are accurate, to help somebody. I've seen people fail modifications on their house for 16 cents, literally pennies. I've seen people have to go into a short sale process because big banks not calculating information correctly. And I guess I don't blame them necessarily, but I blame the process as far as the training of them, because over the last 16 years, nothing's changed. So in 2015, I took it upon myself because of everything that we were trying to do to help homeowners. And obviously somebody in New Jersey would get help. They would talk about us in other states. So I was getting people from other states, attorneys, real estate, title companies, homeowners, investors, anybody that you could think of were saying, "Hey, can you help me in my state? I have a situation. Can you offer advice?" So 2015, it was just myself and my assistant, and now I have 5 people on the team. So there's a total of 6 of us now, and it's pretty amazing. I'm trying to condense everything in house and making sure that everybody works together as a team and offers a solution. And if somebody on the team can't offer a solution, or they don't know the answer, they know to come to myself and also my lead negotiator and try to figure out, what we can do to try to help. But it's the rules, regulations, and guidelines. And if people don't follow the rules, regulations, and guidelines, and incidentally, these are the guidelines that the banking institutions use. So I don't have a problem going toe to toe with them, and everything is heavily documented with the information that we take in, with the intake process, with our files, and along the way, dates, times, people, different departments, timestamps, transfer to another department. All these things are very crucial. Why? Because at the end of the day, if something's not done right or not done properly, and a file gets shut down for whatever reason, we could always go back in and say, hey, unfortunately, you didn't follow the guidelines, you didn't follow the rules and regulations. So at this point now, if you don't do what we need, then we're going to file a complaint against your bank. And the banking industry doesn't want that because they don't want to have negative activity on a file. But we've also had very successful situations where we were able to wipe out second mortgages, or during bankruptcies where a bankruptcy was filed. And because there was an issue or there was a mistake with one file that we actually worked on, it was an improper filing, I think, by like 32 cents, something minute. But because of what had happened and what they did, we were actually able to wipe out about, I think it was $270,000 second mortgage because they messed up, because the numbers were not, that they were not correct. So there's a lot of things that people don't know about the industry, and I think what we're coming across now is that there's more people trying to come back because of the distressed properties. And these are people that are claiming they've been in the industry for the last 10, 15 years, when I know if you go to their social media, you'll see that there's a huge void, and they're pushing the coins, the juices, the creams, or whatever it is, and they went onto something different because now there's a trend. They're trying to come back into this space, and unfortunately, we're finding a lot of people are not giving the proper information. And I don't look at people as competition. I look at everybody as opportunity.
Wow, I love it, man. Matt, too much is given, much is required, man. And I know you put a lot of time in it because I can tell the way you were talking. You know what you're talking about. You've seen things that a lot of people, even myself, have not seen in that area. That's just, and I want to commend you for doing what you do to help people, man. Again, when we met in Clubhouse, I knew something was special when you was in Clubhouse. We were moderating, we was talking. You've been so busy, man. You've been pushing through COVID, being that family man, taking care of your people, man, the elderly. I just commend you, man. I just celebrate you because in all of that, you still keeping the business moving, man.
It's funny, Doc. It's funny because I talk with people, and we have a toll-free number set up, and people could call in 24 hours a day. You can leave a message with one of our assistants, and when I call back, I'm like, hello, Mr. Smith. This is Matt from Real Estate Recovery Group. You had a question about a short sale. What can I do to help? And they're like, wait, this is Matt. This is Matt Marinoff from Real Estate Recovery, the finger point guy. And I laugh and I go, yeah, that's me. Like, oh my God, I can't believe you called me back. And it's weird. And I'll get off the phone with my wife, with this, and then I'll have the phone calls, and I'll talk to my wife, and I'm like, it's so weird. And my life really changed a lot with social media because sometimes we'll go out, and a couple of times we were at Home Depot for just out in general, or if I go to an event or if I drop something off somewhere and people see me, they joke around and they're always like this because that's my trademark. They're like, "What's up, Matt?" Or whatever it is. My wife laughs. But at the end of the day, like tonight, when I jumped on and we did another segment, just before I came on, I took the garbage out to the end of the driveway. So I'm like everybody else. So when somebody says, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking to you," I tell people flat out, like, "Look, I'm just a guy who had an idea, a concept to try to help other people. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about making sure that people understand their options." Now, sometimes people uh, there's a misunderstanding because they're like, "Oh, well, I can't do business with you because you're trying to help people save their houses." I tell people, shouldn't people have the option or shouldn't people know what they're up against? And the realization of going through foreclosure. Nobody should have to go through foreclosure. We're
Mhm.
taking on a new client right now. He was in a specific chapter in bankruptcy, and I spoke with the bankruptcy attorney. I said, "Look, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm not going to step on your toes, but I want you to understand my game plan." And I explained the game plan of what was going on. And he said, "You know what? I appreciate your input. Matter of fact, I might have one or two clients for you because I never had a perspective on that. I never thought of that." Because a lot of these guys that are bankruptcy attorneys, they people come in, they've got debt, and they're like, "Okay, so cool, let's do this, let's do that, and we'll file bankruptcy, and we'll put everything in the motion, and we'll take everything and we'll file it correctly." But what if somebody doesn't need to file bankruptcy? What if they're filing bankruptcy, prematurely, and they're making a situation even worse than it already is? And I could go on and on with stories like that, but I'm not going to bore anybody. At the end of the day, it's about just showing people a better way, a more effective way to get to wherever it is that they're trying to get. But I think people should know what their options are. And there's never an obligation. So
Mhm.
that's why I put my information here, matt10k.com, because that has all my information on it, even has my direct cell phone on it. People are like, "Oh, that's ridiculous. Don't ever put your cell phone out there." If I can't talk, I don't answer the phone. But but I think it's important that people understand that some of my best people that I work with right now are real estate attorneys and real estate agents
Mhm.
because they don't understand how these, you know, things work with the distressed real estate side, or they're scared. And I have to tell you, and I mentioned this in a book that I have coming up. Hopefully, it's going to be out in the next month or so. 9 out of 10 real estate agents don't want to go after short sales because they
Mhm.
don't understand how they work. They don't understand the characteristics of it, and they can actually do more harm than good if they don't follow the guidelines, if they don't understand the rules, regulations, and the guidelines that are put in place to do the short sales correctly.
Yeah.
And not everybody has, and not all the lending institutions have to do short sales. And I try to explain that to people, and people are like, "You don't know what you're talking about. They file bankruptcy and, the debt's waived." Yeah, guys, the debt itself is waived. That is correct. They're not going after you personally for the actual debt, but the asset is still in place. And the
Mhm.
asset is still in the person's name. And because it's still in the person's name, they're still liable for the house. So, God forbid something happens at the property, it's still in their name. So, when I talk like that to bankruptcy attorneys, they're like, "Well, I guess you're kind of right, whatever it is." And we've gotten a tremendous amount of leads from bankruptcy attorneys because they're reaching out more and more now because people still held onto their properties from 3 years ago. And now something's going to happen with that property. And now they're questioning yes or no, should they do something with the property? And the answer is always yes. Why would you want to have the debt go away, but you still have the asset? That makes no sense to me.
Wow. I'm telling you, everybody, this is an amazing conversation that we have on our PIC TV network business talk show with Big Matt. He's going to be doing some things this fall and this winter. Y'all got to get ready because the money management channel, man, is right here. The real estate man is right here. Hey, we're going to take a commercial break and we're going to come right back with some more information with Big Matt. I know you guys are watching from all over the place, and we want you to stay tuned. We'll be right back right after this. Hey everybody, we back again on Business Talk Show, PIC TV Network. I'm on with my man Big Mac from New Jersey. My name is David Evans, President of PIC TV Network. We here from Washington, D.C., beaming it in. The hardest working man, y'all. Matt is the man sometimes that don't sleep. I don't know how he does it, but he's in there working, y'all. He's a working man. Big Mac, talk about again, you talked about 16 years of your life, man. You put into this thing to help people and to educate people. How can they get in touch with you, Matt? Somebody watching right now, I need to talk to Big Matt. How can they get in touch with you, Matt?
Well, I mean, there's a couple different ways. They could call us on our toll-free number, which is 866-739-3960. 866-739-3960. But realistically, I didn't put my name on here, but my digital card is matt10k.com. It's right on the screen. It's matt10k.com. And I tell people all the time, you always want to be one click away. So for me, if you go on and you put this in your social media on your cell phone, it's going to pop up. Add me to your home screen, because if you have any scenarios or or you're looking for solutions, I'll literally be one click away, and everything is on there. I have a partners program form that you can fill out on the card. I also have my Get Help Now form, and there's a spot where you can put on there, be as the referring person. So, and there's a lot of other stuff on there. There's my website. Obviously, there's you can direct text me from from the digital card. It's a new era. It's a digital footprint, and it makes you. It's easier for people to reach you all from one space. And if you want, there's also a promotion card on there. And the promotion card, you can build your own digital card, as a gift, so you can see, that it's a different way. It's a more effective way, I think, of making an impact and working with clients, no matter what business you're in.
Yeah, I want to say, Matt, man, listening to you, man, we've been trying to catch each other, and I'm so happy we did. I can't wait till we do some programs together this fall. But I want to talk about family for a minute, Matt. You're like me, you're a family man.
Yeah.
I respect you so much for that. You said Pops is gone. My Pops is gone. Let's talk for a minute, man. How close was you and Pops, man? Talk about that for a minute, Big Mac. You and Pops.
So, growing up for me, education was very hard for me. It's hard for me to learn. One of the things I remember, my dad never really gave up on me, and he always tried to help. He always tried to make it so I didn't feel different, even though I did feel different. I had a very hard time learning. And my dad was my rock. So, being that he was my rock, I remember he would pay me. At first, it was 5 cents a sign. And then he realized going from New Jersey to Florida, paying me 5 cents a sign, probably a huge mistake. So then he chopped it down to, I think, 1 or 2 cents a sign. And it was about pronunciation uh, and and saying the word correctly. And as long as I pronounced it correctly and said it correctly, I would get paid. So, I paid attention, obviously. 5 cents a sign, I'm all with it. So, could you imagine traveling in a car with a little kid in the back seat and he'd be like, Matt, got a sign coming up, got a sign coming up. And then after a while, my mom and my older brother were like, you guys need to shut up. And then it was like, I would take a nap, then I wake up and I start seeing signs. And it's like south of the border and then, all these different outlets. I was just trying to rack up money, for when we get to Florida so I can hit the arcade. But my dad was always my biggest supporter, my biggest booster. Not that I didn't connect with my mom like that, but my dad was kind of like my sounding board. And he was always like, my biggest cheerleader. And he always said to me that you're going to succeed at your own pace, but unfortunately, it's probably going to happen when you get out of school. Now, for me, I thought D was for diploma, so I could get out of school. So I joked around way too much, and now my kids are like, Dad, but you didn't go to college and you're a success. D is for diploma, ha ha. So it's a different time, it's a different era.
That's right.
And it was
That's right.
different back then. And the teachers weren't as caring or as nurturing. And I was called a lot of things in school by teachers. So
Mhm.
for me, like I had to adapt. So my brain had to go differently. So yeah, my dad, was there for me. He helped me. I also think my dad, not in a good way, held me back from doing certain things because he's like, you can't do that, or that's not something that you can do, or be careful, or I wouldn't do that. So there was a lot of like controversy with that, and we had a lot of problems where my dad and I would fight. But in the end, um, I was always an entrepreneur. I never really liked having like a regular 9 to 5 job. Like it's funny, like now I have two businesses, actually three. But if I was to go in and fill out a job application, anywhere, like my work experience, what I do doesn't necessarily carry over to the real world. But I don't think most people could do what I do. And I think my dad saw that, knowing that the struggles that I went through growing up and trying to learn, I actually use that as a benefit for people that I work with that are in trouble with their houses. And I put a lot of time in.
Mhm.
2005, I started in the industry. My dad thought I was nuts. I literally left a really good paying job, beautiful car, insurance, everything. And I remember standing in the house that I am in right now, in the kitchen. Doc, you're going to appreciate this. Wind was whipping back and forth the plastic where the garage was. And there was one light bulb hanging in the middle of the kitchen where the center island is. And I remember where they framed out where the stair was that was going to go downstairs into the basement that we had to dig because my house is on a slab, but we had to dig for a basement. And I kept saying to myself, "Am I out of my mind? I'm going to leave this job because I want to pursue what I want to do in real estate." And I went to my wife and I said, Mary, this is what I want to do. And what do you think? And she laughed. She goes, you know what? You're going to do whatever you want anyway. You never listen to me. So as long as you feel comfortable, do it. And I did it. And, luckily it all worked out. And I've got a tremendous amount of training and many years of experience. And I'm happy and blessed that, my family was behind me, and I've had a lot of bumps and bruises along the way. A lot of you know, a lot of not so good years over the last 16 years, but I kept going because I believed in what I was doing and what I was offering to other people. And little by little, unfortunately, and some people won't be able to relate to this or not, I had my father there with me. So
Yep.
for my dad, like I was like, listen, unfortunately, I feel like I got another business relationship that's going to come to an end. And my dad always said to me, when the bullshit exceeds the fun, when the bullshit exceeds the fun, or the bullshit exceeds your quest and whatever you're trying to do in life, well, you got to weigh it out. And do you really want to deal with that extra strength? So for me, it was a no. I didn't. And unfortunately, there was a lot of times I had to make hard decisions. I don't regret any of them. I don't
Hmm.
regret any decisions I made. So I guess the only thing that I would regret is that I helped so many people get on their feet. The only thing I would say that I regret is not following up and staying in contact with those people to see like what happened over the last 16 years. Where did they end up? How did things end up for them? Some people I stay in contact with, um, and a few people are actually willing to do actual like testimonials with me split screen. So maybe that's a segment we could do, like maybe life after, short sales or what have it is. And these are people that can actually verify their home addresses and see that they actually lived in that house and that they actually either saved their house or they actually moved on to the next phase of their life.
I always enjoy listening to you, Big Matt, man. It's just like amazing, man. And I know our audience is going to get so much out of the shows that you're going to put together on the Big TV network. Matt, when you see us having a brand new network, we're only 8 months old. We're growing through Roku, and you just got one yourself. We have 60 channels on this Roku, Matt. We showcase inspiration, information, education, and entertainment. Excuse me. How do you feel when you see this, Matt?
I love it. I mean, for me, like it's just another avenue. It's just another way of form of communication on the internet. Um, years ago, if you remember, we had cable boxes, and cable boxes, you actually had to have the cords and the brown cords of the boxes, and you'd sit on your couch, and you thought it was the greatest thing since sliced cheese. And you were flipping through the channels, and you had to push the things on the side, and you fast forward, and then there was new things coming out, and then it was amazing. You had the internet and you could plug your computer into a wall jack, and you lost the ability to pick up a telephone and make a phone call. And then uh, you knew you were rocking and rolling when you're there, on the AOL. So many things have evolved since then. I mean, even like the cell phone aspect of it. When the iPhone came out, it had the original iPhone. Actually, that's my screensaver. You can see what it says. Always one click away. When you had the original iPhone, it was all the rage. It was all the craze. But now there's the iPhone 12. That's 12 years. There's different generations of the phone. So when somebody says to me like, "Oh, it can't get any better." There's no way it can't get any better. What about the vehicles that are out there? So I'm gonna, you have like the Teslas where you can actually tell a Tesla to come pick you up. So if I had a prediction, I would say like pick TV, the network. Maybe it's the next Tesla. Who the hell knows? But I see what you're doing. Uh, I fully back everything that you're trying to do with the pick TV network. I think it's amazing. I think what you're offering is an amazing opportunity for people to showcase their skills, their abilities, and for them to actually understand, there is a way to socially get your information out to the World Wide Web. It's just a different way. It's like everything else. Technology just keeps evolving. And I think it's, if you want something to happen, you have to go after and you have to follow these people that are innovators. And, Dr. Evans, you're an innovator, so congratulations. can't hear you.
I saw Big Mac when we were in Clubhouse that you would be on doing the show, man. I knew it. I knew it just a matter of time. And with what you just stated, we grew up in the antenna days when the antenna was the way to watch TVs, and the FCC had a lockdown with CBS, NBC, and ABC. It was just three channels, and they went off at a certain time. Then cable in the 80s knocked them out. It was a brand new revolution with cable, and it gave us all these channels, like you said, with the boxes. Now we in a brand new era that is Wi-Fi. That's why you're able to be in New Jersey. I'm able to be in DC. We're able to connect right there. Wi-Fi. We're on the front wave of a brand new generation of technology, and we can wirelessly go from here. Literally, Big Mac. We can be on in France, Brazil, Argentina, Nicaragua, United States, Colombia, Mexico, all these places at the same time. All these places at the same time.
Well, you told me the other day you were doing some testing, and you just went live just to see, like, what would come on, how the connection would sound. And what you just described is what you told me the other day, and I could hear the excitement in your voice, and I was so excited for you. Like, there's so many people in the world that are haters, but
Yeah.
this is your concept, this is your idea, this is your network. But there's so many people in the world that want other people to fail because they're so miserable. And, they might be living paycheck to paycheck, and they don't understand that, maybe that you could be, literally one click away from your next idea. Maybe you could be, just, one show away. And, some people, they don't want to read.
No.
I'm not a reader.
No.
I like listening to audiobooks. But unfortunately, the way my motor skills work, I have to do it. I have to watch it, and that's not always available. So I love the fact that you're going to be offering all these types of shows for people to educate, and I think it's an amazing thing.
It's amazing, man. I'm gonna take you on the tour right quick, man. I never really done this before, but I'm gonna take you on the tour, Mac, to let you know where we are in technology. So right now, I'll take you from my son's studio to a church, to a building, to a Bible class, to the Capitol, to the White House, to Miss Oprah, to Mr. George Floyd, who I love, and we celebrate his life forever. To a home, to a brick wall. So I can take you almost anywhere you want to go, man. So this is where we are today. 40 years ago, we couldn't do that, man.
It's all about technology.
We're in a whole different era, and I love what I do. People ask me, how did you do this in the midst of the pandemic? I didn't do it, man. When my sister passed away last year, I just had it out there for one channel. I never knew it would turn into 60 channels, and I just knew I wanted to bring something to the television world with ordinary people like you, Matt, to do extraordinary things, and not pay hundreds of thousands of dollars like on the big major networks. But give us a shot. You have so much information that people need, and we want to show that through beaming it right here. And the beautiful thing about it, you can still use your other platforms. We're going to be on Clubhouse and at the same time.
Right.
It's so many ways. And
I would say if somebody has an idea for a show, they should take advantage and call the number below. The number is 202-505-2837. 202-505-2837. And definitely take advantage of. Look, there's 60 channels that are available. It's just another layer of communicating to other people and reaching out to an audience that normally you wouldn't touch. Now, for me, Clubhouse, when I first got on there, it was amazing how many new relationships that I had formed, personal and business, including you, Doc, where people didn't know who I was, or I didn't know who they were. And it actually gave me the opportunity to reach out to additional people that I would never have met if I didn't get onto that platform. But I mean, here we have now PIC TV, the network with 60 channels, and if you have a topic or something that an idea for a show, you should reach out to the PIC, TV network at the number that's on the bottom of the screen. What's the worst case scenario that could happen? If it's an okay concept, and Dr. Evans can say, hey, but you know what? Maybe if you tweaked a little bit and did this, maybe it's something that might be, something that might make sense. But if you don't take action and call that phone number below, you're never going to be able to find out, yes or no, whether you are the next, next, network star or, a TV reality show. This is an amazing way to find out whether or not you have what it takes to bring, what you're looking to do is your aspirations to get out to the general public. And as long as you're not camera shy, I'm not. People always tell me I got a face for radio. It probably isn't the right platform. But at the end of the day, why not take advantage of having an opportunity like this? And it's not going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to put it together, and you can go at your own pace. Doc, am I right?
Yes, sir. And what I love about it, Big Mac, is I'm starting a TV ready series mastermind class, because a lot of people are afraid when they see television. We're going to take them through the children, the lighting, the background, the audio, the video. We're going to take them through all the steps, Big Mac, just like you with your show. We want them to feel comfortable. We have a show coming up this fall. All of our new shows are coming up this fall, starting in September, right after 9/11. It's a couple out of Canada, Burke and his wife, 71 years old. We're starting a brand new show called The Senior Show, Timelines in Life. I'm producing that show, directing that show. Everything we're doing, Matt, we're beaming it in. We don't have to have the old traditional way. This is a $30 million studio item. This can do anything. You right here, 4K. We can do anything, Big Mac. We can do anything. So we beamed it in. We don't have to take a camera crew over there. We don't have to take a big trailer. We don't have to take the editing crew. We don't have to fly over there. We can just beam it in right through our phone. It's a brand new day. We're living in the Wi-Fi wireless generation. This is it.
It's amazing.
We're here, Big Mac. Hey, everybody. Thank you for watching. We're going to come back on our next series. Me and Big Mac is going to come on our talk show. This is amazing because everybody watching right now, you want to be a part of something great coming on PIC TV Network this fall. Big Mac is going to be here. The Big Mac Show. He's going to talk about some things for real estate. He's going to talk about 10K. I'm going to be listening, and I know you want to be listening to his show coming up. He may even have Big Sean coming on. We don't know. But it's going to be really, really good with Big Mac and the big show coming up on this fall on the PIC TV Network. Thank you for your time. Hey, Big Mac, you want to say shout out to your wife, man, the family? Come on, they're watching. You got to say something to them.
I just want to say, thank you to my wife for always supporting me, for my kids that, like breaking my chops, but obviously they support me as well. And to my mother and my mother-in-law, your rent is due. No one can.
Thank you, Big Mac.